The greatest creator is supremely powerful. The universe is the aggregate of all energy in which there is an energy cluster. The relationship of the aggregate to the energy cluster is the same as that of an egg white to an egg yolk. In this energy cluster, egg yolk, there is a very small energy embryo which also contains an even smaller nucleus. This nucleus is the nerve center of the universe, which is the causal body of the energy and the thought zone of the universe. This is the greatest creator. Energy itself has neither thought nor consciousness. The mammoth energy emitted by nuclear bomb explosions can kill both bad people and good people. It can destroy kings' palaces as well as thatched cottages, simply because the energy does not have consciousness. Energy can be extremely powerful, but the thought behind it can be even more powerful, which means that the thoughts of the scientists who made the nuclear bombs were even more powerful than the bombs themselves. The small nucleus in the energy cluster, the nerve center of the universe, which is the greatest creator, is even more powerful than the overall energy of the universe. That is why we say that the greatest creator is supremely powerful beyond all energy. 8. 上帝是智慧的. The greatest creator is intelligent. The great wisdom of the greatest creator is shown in the following three aspects. 建立宇宙秩序. 1. Building the cosmic order. The cosmic order includes the macro-celestial moving order, such as the orderly movement of the Lorotary Galaxy, the Rotary River Galaxy, and all the star systems within each. The micromaterial structure order, such as the orderly movements of molecules, atoms, electrons, protons, nucleons, mesons, hyperons, and gluons. The order of life transmigration. For instance, when a person's spiritual nature is upgraded to a certain level, they will become a celestial being or a god, but when their spiritual nature is downgraded to a certain level, they will become a dog, a pig, or a tree. If the person's spiritual nature remains unchanged, they can become another person in their next life cycle. Such is the case with an ox, which can become a person or another animal when its spiritual nature is upgraded or downgraded. A celestial being can be upgraded to Buddhahood or downgraded to personhood. 设计生命结构. To design the life structure. The life structure mainly refers to the genes of all life forms. These genes, as with unexposed film, can be copied repeatedly. The genes of all life forms, the films, are different from each other. The genes of human are different from those of pigs. Those of cats are different from those of birds. Those of willows are different from those of peach trees, and those of roses are different from those of peony. In general, genes are featured by the homogeneous compatibility and heteronature repulsion. For instance, the Asian, African, and European lineages of our species have the same nature and are compatible with each other, so their members can interbreed and produce viable offspring. However, since human, animal, and plant genes are not of the same kind but are incompatible with each other, they cannot mate, and even if they were to attempt to do so, new life would never be generated. Though oxen, sheep, dogs, cats, pigs, chickens, deer, rats, snakes, and otters are all animals, they cannot mate and reproduce because their genes are not of the same type and have different characteristics. However, the genes of a few life forms are similar. For instance, humans and apes, horses and donkeys, wolves and dogs, chickens and peacocks, apple trees and pear trees can mate or get engrafted. But the new life forms produced are not the same as their parents, and they cannot produce their own future generations. For instance, humans and apes can produce barbarians, who are infertile. Horses and donkeys produce mules, which are infertile, too. Wolves and dogs can have the infertile bay. Chicken and peacocks can produce the infertile phoenix. And apple trees engrafted to pear trees can produce the infertile apple pears. Though resembling each other, humans and monkeys have different genetic structures and cannot mate. Even if they mate with each other, they cannot produce any new life. That's why humans are not evolved from the monkeys. Of course, we cannot say the monkeys are involuted from humans, either. Fertilized egg, only visible via the microscope, will end up growing into a tangible life with head, feet, eyes, nose, hair, eyebrows, skin, nails, heart, and blood vessels. It is the fruit of the greatest creator's great wisdom. The human hair can grow limitlessly, but the eyebrows and eyelashes, when growing to a certain length, will not continue the growth anymore. Why? Because the growth of hair will not impact on the activity of the life, while the growth of eyebrows and eyelashes will block the vision. From the embryo to a grown-up, the life grows in strict proportions, which is also designed by the greatest creator. Otherwise, the left leg is already 1 meter long, while the right one is very short. Or the head has taken shape but the ear has not grown. It will produce a monster. Or the heart has begun to work while the blood vessels haven't started their growth. Thus the heart will die from lack of oxygen. As a matter of fact, the mechanics engineers and the architectural engineers are also the designers of the genes. The drawings of machines, buildings, and bridges designed by them are genes of structures. Based on these genetic structures, workers will manufacture real machines and build buildings or bridges. The work of the workers is based on and within the framework of these genetic structures, drawings. If a building is designed for 5 floors, the workers will not build a 6-floor building. The genetic structure has even defined the window size, position and materials, the wiring and piping. The evolutionists believe that humans are evolved from monkeys, monkeys from insects, insects from simple cells, birds from the terrestrial animals, and terrestrial animals from aquatic life. It is the same as the aeroplanes are evolved from the buildings and buildings from the Swiss mechanical watches. 3. Knowing the present and the future. The great leader, Chairman Mao Zedong, predicted the future development of more than 20 issues during his lifetime, which later proved to be accurate. How? Because Mao Zedong had wisdom. Anyone who predicts future developments accurately is wise. The wiser they are, the more qualitative and quantitative will be the predictions that they give. Scientists are people of wisdom because they have created most of our inventions. Without wisdom, any activities would definitely become messy and disorderly. A country running in order and balance where people enjoy their life and work is often governed by a wise brain trust. If the people in this country voice frequent complaints and are annoyed by the criminals, it is definitely governed by a leadership without wisdom. If a family, in 3 generations' time, still can't cultivate some promising one in it, it is a family without wisdom. If a person lives in poverty and is not able to grasp any opportunity throughout life, or the person doesn't know what to do first and what to do second, he or she is someone with no wisdom. Some people can detect the opportunity from the shift of national leadership or find the future development from a newly launched national policy and change his target. These people have the wisdom. Some people can find the essence from the phenomenon or know the time of qualitative change from the speed of quantitative change. These people have the wisdom. Zhuge Liang is such a person, proved by his memorial on sending out the troops and his weather forecast ability before a battle. Everything in the universe runs according to the laws, whether the celestial movement, life growth, ebb and flow, or human life change, etc. None is able to run away from the restrictions of the rules. Those who know the laws of things and their movement know about the future. Human beings are able to forecast the time of solar and lunar eclipse hundreds of years later, the calendar and the cosmology destiny of billions of years later, and the weather and temperature in a few weeks' time. They also know that it takes 18 years for a baby to become a grown-up. The skilled and experienced doctor can know the estimated death date of his patient by judging through the symptoms. Some people with special capacity can calculate a person's lifespan. For instance, a Taoist priest once told Chairman Mao 2 numbers, 99 and 8,341. These 2 numbers coincidentally match many big events in his life. Everything in the universe is in a cause-effect relationship, is inevitable, governed by natural law, and has its destiny from start to finish. So the wiser one is, the more one knows about the mysteries of the universe. The greatest creator knows the past and future of everything. Gods and devils know the movements and changes of many things, and the Buddha knows the past and futures of people. Confined by their genetic structures, human can never know everything. For instance, they can never know the last digit of pi, or even whether it is cyclical or irrational. Humans can never have the same wisdom as the greatest creator does, but they can reach the level of God or Buddha. The problem is that when we have the wisdom of a God or Buddha, we cannot, or don't want to be a human anymore. The ordinary humans want to survive. When they possess the wisdom of Buddha or God, they want to die. For them, survival is meaningless and death is vital for the life. If they have a fortunate death, they can at least enter the thousand-year world. If they have a bad death, they have to endure sufferings for the next cycle of life. While people's pleasure and happiness lie in their ignorance. Once they are literate, the distress and trouble will follow. The pleasure and happiness of humans cannot arouse the interest of the literate people who see life as a tragedy, just like a merrily hopping fawn in the eyes of humans. A young deer is jumping and playing joyfully because it is ignorant. When it knows the surrounding tiger and wolf are killers, it will not be happy anymore. As human beings, they never intend to become a young deer simply because of the pleasure and happiness it enjoys. A god or Buddha never intend to become a human, either, unless he is from the senior life space with a special mission.